Yo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy ColtsTalk. We're back with another video. Today, I got an interesting question I want to ask before I drop this preview. But it's definitely a question to think about, as you can see from the title. Can Sam Ehlinger save Coach Frank Reich? I think he can. I think this is one of those things that Frank Reich desperately needed. And, he probably was looking for this whole time and he didn't realize that it was on his sideline. Of course, we know the meme of Sam Ehlinger looking at the camera and Matt Ryan like this, peeking his head. But, to me, honestly, I feel like this move should have been done 2 seasons ago. I mean, when you think about it, you rolled the dice on Carson Wentz, a last-minute option, didn't work out. You rolled the dice on Matt Ryan, last-minute option, didn't work out. And to be fair, for Matt Ryan's sake, I think it could have worked out, but you didn't give him the help he needed. Also, you can say the same thing for Carson Wentz. You could have worked it out with him, even though his mechanics was a little off, but you didn't give him the help he needed. The offensive line was terrible for 2 years, and you didn't go out there in the offseason to make those adjustments due to the stubbornness from Chris Ballard, in which I understand because he has his whole logic with building through the draft. But for Sam Ehlinger's sake, he's a young guy, he's mobile, and he has a few things that Matt Ryan didn't. Mobility is one of those things. But when you look at this scenario for Frank Reich, this is probably the youngest quarterback he had in his reign, besides Jacoby Brissett or Andrew Luck, if you want to mention that as well. I think this is the youngest quarterback he's ever had. So in his playbook, he probably has some designs that he can use for a faster guy or a guy that's maybe younger and mentally, locked in with the offense that, two guys didn't have. You look at Jacoby, wasn't really there for Frank Reich's offense all the way through. You look at Carson Wentz, only there for a year. You look at Matt Ryan, half a year. You can go Philip Walker, maybe partially there. Brian Hoyer, he stinks. He was there for maybe a few days, a few months to be exact. But none of these guys has really been in Coach Frank Reich's system, unlike Sam Ehlinger. So I think he knows his playbook more than anybody else. He's been taking those. He's been a clipboard holder, and to side those things off, Matt Ryan's going to be in his ear holding the clipboard, being a QB coach besides Marcus Brady. And I think that's just a bonus to look at for Sam Ehlinger's sake. And I think that saves Coach Frank Reich's job. And I'm not saying we're going to go to the Super Bowl, we're not winning the division. This is not high expectations for Sam Ehlinger. These things are basically implying that these things could be a good thing for Coach Frank Reich. Like I said, I'm not holding him under any expectations, but I do think Sam Ehlinger can definitely hold Frank Reich another year longer. Now, I know a lot of Colts fans want to get rid of Coach Frank, but again, he is definitely a QB coach and offensive minded. But when you have a guy in a system like Sam Ehlinger that is electric and mobile, still needs to work on a few things, but arm strength is one of those things. But I do think he can definitely open up this book of Frank Reich to go back to what he's naturally doing and what he's pretty decent at. You know what I mean? Like when you look back at the Super Bowl run where he was calling plays for Carson, the run, not the Super Bowl, but on that run, you've seen those designs and those plays where it's just like, okay, there's no way this defense can stay footed on what we have going on the offensive side. So then you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars game, and their defensive guy Walker came out and said Matt Ryan's a sitting duck. Well, you can't say that anymore because he isn't the quarterback, and now you have a guy that can run if he has to. Sam Ehlinger is not the fastest guy in the NFL, but he can scramble. And, throwing on a run, those play action boots that we get killed by on the Colts defense, we can actually run it on the offensive side now. Maybe some options. We can run the double running back set with Hines and Taylor now. And now you got a three-headed monster with a mobile quarterback at the position. Now you have Jonathan Taylor on one side. You have Hines on the other. You still got Alec Pierce. You still got Michael Pittman Jr. You still got Kylan Grant. You still got a red zone talker in Jelani Woods. Can this be a light of day for Mo Ali Cox to actually do something to be more productive the way he was in the first game against the Tennessee Titans. The offensive line can see a new life because they have a quarterback that can move with them, that can actually shift. All these things can save Coach Frank Reich at the end of the day. And you don't want to make this coaching move in the middle of the season. Like I said, there's no expectations for this team anymore. With bringing in this new quarterback that was in the system, there's no expectations. But there is a sign of life that something could change and something could progress moving forward. You ask yourself this question with Sam Ehlinger, with his play at the end of the year, holding him at the starting quarterback. You ask yourself, can he be the franchise? Do we need to go get a quarterback off the draft? And if you're going to stick with Sam, if he saves Coach Frank Reich with the mindset, if he shows any type of progression that he can actually stick around, you ask yourself, if we're going to keep him, we can go get more talent on the offensive line in the offseason. We can go get more defensive talent to add to the already loaded defense. This season is just an experiment at this point. Like I said, you're just gonna run with it and see what happens in the long run. The all chips in mentality is out the window. They threw that smoke screen just for Colts fans to stay locked in for the rest of the year. So we're not even gonna go with that mindset anymore. Right now, we're gonna go with, can Sam Ehlinger get this offense to any type of progression to save Coach Frank Reich? And that's the question we're gonna ask moving forward. This game is going to be an experiment against Washington. Washington's known for sending heat, even though they're going to have their star guy out there, but they're still doing it. They still have some dogs out there on that defense because we know their offense is a huge question mark, but Heineke is just a shadow of right now of Sam Ehlinger. Both of these guys are pretty much dang near identical. But this is going to be a very exciting game. It's going to be a debut of Sam Ehlinger, and the question that we're going to ask is definitely something to think about for the long run. But I definitely want you guys' opinion on this. Can Sam Ehlinger save Coach Frank Reich? And if he can't, what do we do after that? That is a huge question to think. But like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Can Sam Ehlinger save Coach Frank Reich? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If it don't work out, let me know your score predictions. All these things. I got the preview video dropping soon. Let me know your thoughts about that. Stay tuned for that. Turn on your notices. Subscribe if you haven't. This is Marcus. And until next time, you've been Culture Shock.